What's up? This is BoxingWave. Now that I got your attention, I wanted to talk about, obviously you see the title, Adonis Stevenson, Andrzej Fonfara fight last night. It was a good fight. Actually one of my personal favorite fights of the year. I really enjoyed the fight. I liked it a little bit better than the Marquez Alvarado fight, alright? Not as much as the Molina Matisse fight, but this fight was up there to me. You know, the back and forth. I like fights like that. There's a lot of back and forth going on. So I enjoyed the fight, you know. Overall, I thought it was a good fight. Now, Adonis Stevenson. Do I think he's overrated? I never overrated him in the first place. Like I've made videos. You check my videos. You know, I went back and checked my videos today because before I made this video, I wanted to be clear on what I said previous in the past about Adonis Stevenson, Bernard Hopkins, Kovalev. I wanted to see what I said back then, just so I can remember, if I can stick with what how I feel. And I do feel the same way about Adonis Stevenson and Kovalev as far as who's better or, whatever. Me personally, like a lot of people feel like, listen, you see my prediction video. If you didn't see my prediction video, I basically said Adonis Stevenson was going to knock Fonfara out. It shouldn't go past no more than 3 rounds. Okay, that's what I said in the video. Stevenson started off on the right track, and he used the same weapon that I knew he was going to use the entire fight, that left hand. He dropped him early. I thought the fight was going to be over shortly after that, and it wasn't. It was a good fight. Fonfara is a tough dude. He got knocked down twice, and he actually came back and knocked down Stevenson later in the fight. All this fight proved to me was how tough Fonfara really is. I wasn't surprised by anything that happened with the fight with Adonis Stevenson. You know why? Because I thought a lot of his skills were questionable to begin with. I always thought he was left hand crazy. I mean, he might as well have fought this fight with one hand, his right hand tied behind his back, basically. Because at points where he should have used his right hand, he wasn't using it. Okay, because he doesn't have anything to go with it. I mean, one thing I did notice, he landed a nice right hook from time to time with the right hand, but there was times like in the 6th round, was it the 6th round? I believe it was the 6th round where he hurt Fonfara, but he didn't drop him, and he chased him after that. It was a body shot that hurt Fonfara. Fonfara backed up holding his stomach like it hurt, and Adonis Stevenson chased him down and started throwing more left hands. Like, dude, throw a right uppercut or something. His face is right in front of you. He's not even guarding his face right now. His face was completely open for a right uppercut or a right hook, and he didn't even use it because this guy is left hand crazy. Okay, and he fights somebody like Bernard Hopkins, a guy that is as experienced as him. You're gonna have trouble because he's gonna figure you out before the fight starts, and he's gonna have you figured out after a few rounds in. Okay, because you're not gonna just go in there and knock him out like you've been knocking everybody else out. No one knocks Bernard Hopkins out. Okay, not even a 49-year-old Bernard Hopkins. You're just not gonna go in there and knock him out. And I feel like Bernard Hopkins, is the type of fighter. Yeah, he doesn't have all the power of the world. He's not knocking guys out like that anymore. It's been a long time. But the thing about Bernard Hopkins is he's good at taking your strengths away from you. Okay, Adonis Stevenson has a good left hand. All right, he's good. He has good boxing ability and everything, but it's his left hand that's getting him these wins. He has a lot of power in that left hand. He's good at throwing a straight left hand. I can't even say he's good at doing everything with that left hand because all we saw was straight lefts to the body, back up top. We didn't really see too much. He doesn't really have a variety of weapons in the ring. He just uses that left hand, and he'll just keep throwing it. It's straight left hands. He'll throw an uppercut or hook every once in a while, but it's him throwing straight lefts. Okay, when you fight somebody like Bernard Hopkins, he's gonna figure you out, and he's gonna diffuse that bomb that you have. You know what I'm saying? And especially in the mid to later rounds. Bernard Hopkins, we all know he starts slow, but once he get the momentum going, once he gets a little comfortable, he's gonna change that up. All right. So as far as Kovalev, right? See, fights like this is what happens when you don't fight the guy that most people want to see you fight. Because every time you fight and you don't perform the way people expect you to perform, they're gonna bring up the other guy that you should have fought, or the most general people want to see you fight, and they're gonna bring that person up and they'll be like, see, I told you Kovalev was better. You know. Now, me personally, if you see my, like I said, I made videos before. I think if those two were to fight, Kovalev will win. Not because of this fight, but because I think Kovalev will win, you know, overall. You know, I mean, I think Stevenson might be slightly the better boxer, but I think Kovalev, it his power in both hands and the high volume of punches that he throw, and I think people underestimate his boxing skills. He does have good boxing skills, okay? I think Kovalev will win the fight, all right? I said it in 3 other videos. I think Kovalev would beat Adonis Stevenson, not because of last night, all right? Like I said, Adonis Stevenson, he, you know what? He looked impressive last night. You know why he looked impressive? Because he came in and did the best that he could do based on how he fights, all right? He fought well. I mean, he knocked the guy down twice. He was winning almost every round, except when he got knocked down. The only thing is he punched himself out, got tired. But guess what? He still came back. You know, he faced adversity, came back, and won the fight. You know, Fonfara did a good job. He's proved that he belongs, you know, he should be mentioned at light heavyweight. But other than that, there's really nothing else to really say about him. All right? Adonis Stevenson, I don't think he's overrated. He's still top 3 out of the light heavyweights, but I mean, he is left hand crazy. There's nothing else to say. You know, I mean, all of the things that we saw was already proven. Okay, we already knew this was an issue with Adonis Stevenson. All right, I don't know how anyone is surprised by what happened last night. He did what he had to do. It's just that he fought a guy that wasn't knocked out didn't get knocked out by his left hand. So what happens? You go into the later rounds. You go to 12 rounds. You go 12 rounds. I'm sorry. You go 12 rounds with a guy, and you're not used to going 12 rounds. All right, this is the first time he went 12 rounds, I believe, or no, maybe the second time. All right. I mean, stamina was it was always a questionable thing with Adonis Stevenson. So I'm not surprised. It's questionable with Kovalev as well. Can Kovalev fight 12 rounds? We don't know. All right, but I don't think there was any exposing done. You know, I don't think anything was a shock to me, because all of this has been proven already. Like, you know, Adonis Stevenson has one weapon, and he hasn't improved on it. In fact, he's at his peak right now. He's not going to improve. Now, if you think Adonis Stevenson would beat Kovalev, that's cool. I'm fine with you. You know, but all you guys that talk about, you know, you sit here and try to defend his move, and listen, if you want to get paid more, do what you got to do. You know, Adonis Stevenson obviously is about that money. I mean, just like every other prize fighter. But at the end of the day, everybody wanted to see you fight Kovalev, okay? And for the people that do believe that Kovalev didn't fight enough or didn't fight anyone, all right, well, okay, Kovalev didn't fight the guys that Adonis Stevenson fought, all right? Adonis Stevenson has fought better fighters. But why isn't he fighting Kovalev? What does that have to do with the fight with Kovalev? Okay, Adonis Stevenson fought Tony Bellew. He fought Fonfara. He fought Tavares Cloud. Okay, he fought those guys. Why didn't he fight Kovalev? Oh, he wanted more money, right? Okay, well, you want more money against Kovalev, but you didn't ask for more against Bellew or Tavares Cloud or Fonfara. You know what I'm saying? You want more money for a reason. You know why? Because you know who you get in the ring with. You getting in a ring with a guy that could possibly knock you out. All right, he can knock you out. So why do you want much more from him? You know, You know when I knew that Adonis Stevenson did not want to fight him, and I said this already in the video? You calling out Carl Froch. You beat Tony Bellew. I think it was the Tony Bellew win. You calling out Carl Froch. You hear the crowd? You know, they just seen Kovalev knock out Ismail Shalak. Okay? They just seen, HBO had it set up lovely for you guys to fight. Alright, if they wasn't paying you enough, cool. But you want the extra money because you want to make sure at least the fight was worth it. At least the money was worth it just in case you got knocked out. That's understandable. And guess what? When you sign over to Al Heyman, that's probably what the whole meaning is about. You talking, I'm pretty sure the Al Heyman meaning goes like this. Listen, all right, we taking you over to Showtime because you're not going to go over there and fight Kovalev. That's the first thing. You're not over there. If they're not paying you this amount, this X amount of money, you're not getting in the ring with Kovalev, okay? Because, you know, you can come over here and fight this amount of guys for this money. I understand that, all right? You're going to take the easiest fights for the amount of money. I understand that. That's cool, all right? And you know what? I'm not trying to downplay Bernard Hopkins, not say that he's easier, but right about now, who is Adonis Stevenson more likely to get knocked out by? Let's be honest. Gonna be Bernard Hopkins or Kovalev? I think that's a no-brainer. I'm not saying Bernard Hopkins can't beat Stevenson. He could definitely beat him. But who? I mean, Kovalev could get you in a devastating knockout here. You know, Bernard Hopkins is not knocking people out at 49 years old. He's just not doing it. All right. So my thing is, this is what happens when you don't fight the guy that the people want to see you fight. You know, the top guy. You know, because every time a fight is over, everybody's like, oh, you know, you didn't do well, you know. Oh, just like, you know, Pacquiao Mayweather. We see the same thing happen with them. You know, Pacquiao gets get knocked out by Marquez. Oh, Pacquiao, he shouldn't even be fighting Floyd. He got knocked out by Marquez. Floyd destroyed Marquez. This is what happens. You know what I'm saying? Just because you feel that Adonis Stevenson is a better fighter than Kovalev does not mean that they shouldn't fight. If you think Floyd is better than Pacquiao, okay, that's cool. Let's see it in the ring. Stop talking about, oh, well, you know, you see what happened in that fight. You see what happened when he got in the ring with such and such. Oh, he didn't even look good against Maidana. No, this is what I'm saying. Fights need to be made. Who cares about what you did in another fight? You know? So, me personally, I wasn't surprised at all. I did predict a knockout. It didn't happen, okay? But as far as the fight, I was very impressed with the fight. You know, I loved the fight. It was a great fight. I don't think Adonis Stevenson was out of shape or anything. Nah, I don't think that. I mean, the guy got knocked down and came back and fought with a lot of heart for the last few rounds that was left. Okay, so I mean, stamina issues. I mean, yeah, he might have some stamina issues, but at the end of the day, he was losing. He was facing adversity, and he still came back and won the final rounds, in my opinion. Okay, it was a close fight. As far as, you know, him almost getting knocked out, you know, because Fonfara did come back. But what happens when you fight a guy that can take your left hand power, your only weapon that you have? What happens when you face a guy that you can't knock out with that one big left hand that you have? And that was the reason why I always thought he was questionable, okay? You can say whatever you want about Kovalev. Me thinking Kovalev could beat Adonis Stevenson is my personal opinion. As far as the Bernard Hopkins fight, I still slightly think it will be a 12-round fight between Stevenson and Hopkins. I'm still leaning a little bit towards Adonis Stevenson for the win. I think Stevenson just might win more rounds. That's why. And we see how the judges have been funny with Hopkins, you know, giving Shumanev, one of the judges picked Shumanev to win that fight. This is why I'm saying if they were to fight, I'm still leaning a little bit towards Stevenson. But I don't know, all right? I think Kovalev, if they were to fight, I'll pick Kovalev for the knockout. Stevenson, it's a 50-50 fight. So if you pick Stevenson for the knockout, that's cool too. But I don't think he's overrated. I think everything has been proven already before leading up to this fight, all right? So anyway, subscribe to the channel and make sure you leave comments. Peace.